What's cracking, people? Angelic Mayhem here. So, welcome to Mayhem Takes a Selfie. In this video, I just want to talk about light bulbs, okay? Beginning in 2014, there's about to be a ban that is going to be in effect for all incandescent light bulbs, okay? So all of the traditional light bulbs that have a little wire in them that you've seen for, dozens and dozens and dozens of years, they are not going to be around anymore. And frankly, because I'm a sustainability-oriented kind of person, good riddance to them, okay? Because whenever you have a light bulb in a socket and you turn it on, 80% of the energy that goes into that light bulb escapes as heat, which is why you can't touch a lit light bulb. That is a huge waste, not only to, like the energy supply that we have in the nation as a whole, just in general, but also to each and every one of our pockets, okay? That is just literally wasted money going out there. And especially in the summertime, you're trying to cool down your house with an air conditioner, and then you're heating it up with all of your lights, okay? That's bonkers. So the question becomes, well, what are we replacing them with, all right? There are now going to be 3 different kinds of light bulbs, all right? One of them will be a halogen bulb, one of them will be a CFL, or a compact fluorescent light bulb, and then there will be LED light bulbs, okay? I would suggest to you that the safest of all of these is the LED light bulb. I have switched all of the light bulbs in my house to be LED bulbs. This has been a tremendous amount of savings to me in terms of electricity, and so for that reason alone, I would suggest it to you. However, there are a lot of people out there who don't like LED bulbs, and here's why. Okay, when you go to the store right now and you find an incandescent bulb, which won't be there in a month, but for now, technically it's still there, you can buy one of those for $2, $3, okay? When you buy an LED bulb, you are purchasing it for anywhere from $20 to $50, depending upon the kind of LED bulb that you pick up, all right? So people are saying, well, why on earth would I spend 10 times more for a light bulb? Well, if that light bulb lasts 10 times longer, okay, then that actually is a good deal, all right? You're paying, basically, for all the light bulbs you would have been changing up front. Now, most people who you tell about this, okay, they're perfectly fine with that. However, there are a handful of people who are lunatic maniacs who just can't process that information, okay? And the reason for that, by the way, and let me just tell you a story. There is a light bulb in California attached to a firehouse that is actually quite famous. And the reason it's famous is because it's been in the same socket burning for 100 years. And it was not a special light bulb at the time when it was made, because originally light bulbs were made to last, okay? And then the light bulb manufacturers, they got together and they said, well, this is ridiculous. We're making all these great light bulbs and people buy them and then they never come back. We never see them again. So let's start making crappy light bulbs. That's called planned obsolescence, okay? And most of the American economy runs on planned obsolescence. And you see these reports on, like CNN.com and stuff like that about how PC sales are down. PC sales are down because we're building our own PCs now. We don't have to go to Dell and these companies that live off of planned obsolescence. We just get all the parts, we assemble the computer ourselves, and it lasts for a decade because we know what's like what is going to break and what isn't going to break, so we don't have to buy a new PC every year or every 3 years. Well, anyway, the light bulb people, they've been living on planned obsolescence for years, and they could easily have built a light bulb that would have lasted for 100 years, but they didn't. I will tell you that the other 2 options, halogen bulbs and the CFLs, each of those has serious negatives attached to them, okay? First of all, a halogen bulb, if it tips over and it breaks, or if it just touches the ground while it's in your house, it will set fire to your house. So it is incredibly dangerous, and halogen light bulbs have to be guarded by like meshes and things like that, but not everybody knows that. So if some guy takes a halogen bulb home and plugs it into his halogen lamp, but doesn't assemble his halogen lamp right, or figures, oh, I don't like having this wire thing up top because it makes it look bad, he could literally burn his house to the ground. And compact fluorescents contain mercury. Now, not as much as some people claim. Some people claim that when you break a CFL bulb, that you have to evacuate your house and you have to, have like this hazmat crew come in. All that's crap, okay? You do have to be careful when cleaning it up because mercury poisoning is very serious, all right? So the question becomes, well, why would you even risk burning your house to the ground or getting mercury poisoning in the first place. All right. And it's because the United States government won't step in to fix these problems unless there's like a nationwide epidemic of people burning their house down or mercury poisoning. All right. Mercury poisoning takes years to manifest itself in your body. So to connect that to a CFL bulb that you broke 5 years prior or 20 years prior, that's too difficult of a stretch to make. So, you just have to take my word for it that having mercury in your house is a bad idea. And in terms of halogen bulbs, that's actually going to be a little bit easier to prove because as houses burn to the ground, people are going to say, you know what, these halogen bulbs, that's a bad deal. So you'll probably see the halogens go before the CFLs. But either way, screw them both, all right? Start with LEDs. Get yourself an LED. When you turn it on, put your hand on it. It's ice cold, okay? Because there is no wasted energy in the room. Basically, you're taking a handful of Christmas lights and you're smashing them together to the point where they're so close that they can just fill your room with light. I can't imagine anything that's better than that. And, they're very environmental and they're very sustainable. So I am very excited about the expiration of the incandescent light bulb. I think that is going to be a huge benefit to humanity as a whole, and especially to the United States in its energy crisis. And, I would highly recommend that each of you go out and spend $20 to $30 on an LED light bulb. In fact, the last time I bought light bulbs, I bought 5 of them, and that was over 3 years ago, and I haven't had to change a light bulb since. So there you have it. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please click the like button or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this in the future. I'm Angelic Mayhem, and I'll see you next time.